Hey, it's Rico here with another Poppy use case, just kind of making some videos as a reference of how I might use it. Maybe you see some value in it, maybe you learn something new, or maybe you don't care, but you're bored and you want to watch it anyways. This one's about video editing. I have a client, he's a physiotherapist. He gets someone to videotape him, he sends me just a ton of video. It's unscripted. One, I'm not a physiotherapist. Two, I don't know what he's doing that day. Three, I have about 20 minutes here today to try to decipher and decide how to cut it. And what we're trying to get is just little, 25 to 45 second videos for social media. What's his approach to fixing knee pain or this or that or whatever, okay? So I had 20 minutes, and if you're an video editor, you know that you have to go through the whole footage, understand it, take notes, try to wrap your head around it, like what's he trying to say. And then you make your first pass and you're like, okay, well, then you work it in sections and you make your second pass, and all of a sudden you're spending hours upon hours upon hours trying to immerse yourself in that video, try to come up with a message, and then create content. There has to be a better way of doing things. So I started this with ChatGPT, with a custom GPT that I created, and it was one of these things where I told it to go through the script, find the best kind of talking points, highlights of the video, and then kind of make smaller segments around those points. But it didn't really quite work that well, because ChatGPT, and you'll see Claude does the same thing, is they'll try to anticipate what you're trying to do, and they will elaborate, create new words, insert different points of view, like from a third person all of a sudden, where this guy's explaining this is what I do, and then the direction that AI will do is like, then this is what he did. So it doesn't work like that, okay? So the first thing I do, I'm actually working here on Premiere Pro, and the first thing I do is I transcribe the whole sequence. There's 20 minutes roughly in here, and then I export as a TXT file. Once I'm done that, I hop over to Poppy, and then I start connecting everything. So that text file that I created is actually this one over here. So I uploaded it with the document from device and created that point. Then I've also have here for reference, and I'll show you how I use this in a second. But it's the same 4 videos. I've uploaded them to YouTube, and then I made it as a resource here inside of Poppy, just for context. Hear me out. Then I decided, after some trial and error, that it's important to have a very clear objective, guidelines, and rules. So the objective here is to create smaller videos from the connected resources, letting them know that there is no script, like it's unscripted, and refer to the set of rules and guidelines 100% of the time. What are the rules? You must only use words already in existence in the script document. You may not create or insert new words. You are allowed to delete or omit words. You may use additional resources connected, like those videos, as contextual reference, but need to adhere to the script file for the actual content you can use. So I thought I'd try out connecting these videos to Poppy, so it gives it more context as it's putting these shorter videos together, rather than just relying solely on what a script may look like. Okay. And then I go into the guidelines. You must piece together smaller or short videos using the script resource while following the rules 100% of the time. The video output goal is to be between 25 and 45 seconds with a plus or minus 5 second deviance. You must include a short 1 to 2 word title. You must include an appropriate subtitle between 1 and 3 words. At the end of each crafted job, I want you to add a short sentence to the reader explaining the message the video is saying. That's just so I can have some trust onto the results, saying, well, this is what the video just said. I'm like, okay, good, then I'll cut it. But if it doesn't make sense, then I'll go back and ask to do another one. I just don't have time to, these are TLDR kind of sentences, rather than having to go through the whole video and read more, spend more time. The purpose here is the objective is to save time, work smarter, not harder. And then at the end I said I want the script presented as a full paragraph, no bullets, line breaks, etc. Then I go into here and I'm using GPT-4o or Claude. Now I've done this with Claude. It does an okay job. It still didn't really follow the rules that well. So this video I'm making here with this other model. Okay, so I always like to start with a prime. Are you ready to start? Sure, ready. Do you know the task at hand? I'm just being extra careful. Perfect. Okay. Give me first video. Okay. So got a little bit right, a little bit wrong. Let me show you what I mean. So right off top, hip pain insights. This is a 3-word title. I wanted a 2-word title. Okay, and I'm gonna call it on it because I'm also gonna challenge the fact that this may not be accurate also. Okay, the title is supposed to be 1 to 2 words. You did this. Okay, it made the 2 words. This is between 1 and 3. I'm good with it. But before I go through this, I actually want to like just poke it a little bit more just to make sure it's 100%. And I'll do it like this. Now, I'm wondering if you ignored any of the other rules, guidelines, or objectives. Like I'm losing confidence, right? And I want to tell this ahead of time. So to set the tone that it needs to be 100% verbatim. Apologize. Okay, 1 to 3. Good. Words, perfect. Explanation. Is there anything else? No. Okay. Let's redo video 1. All right. So now I want to see if this actually exists so I can start cutting it. And the way I'm going to cut it, it's more of a text-based cutting or editing rather than listening, cutting, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to find the word tibia. And you go into Premiere, and I'm up here. I'm going to search for the word tibia. I'm going to go that. And it gives me 1 of 2 results. So this is how I do this. I go through the paragraph, I find some keywords, I search it, and then now I don't know if this is the right one or the next result. Okay, so let's see what it said here again. It said, we examined the joint and found her tibia didn't want to turn in. This one here. Joint did not want to turn in or inside the tibia line. This is not the right one. So it must be the second one. Now, remember, again, I asked it to cut, omit, all that kind of stuff and create cohesive videos. So it makes sense that this sentence, her tibia did not want to turn in, okay? In here it says, we examined the joint and found her tibia did not want to turn in. So it picked up this sentence to be part of the video. Now I just gotta make sure that this sentence also exists, right? Examine the joint. I'm going with examined the joint. Is it there? Let's find out. It's the moment of truth. I don't see it right off the bat, so I'm going to cut the word examined. All right, so the joint, right? So the joint is here. Is the word examined in here? No. And this is good. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Poppy and say the word examined is not part of the original script. How come you are not following rules? Apologize, oversight. That's correct. Okay, so where was the tibia part again? Finding her tibia did not want to turn in, causing. See, it didn't follow it again. Oh, this is like where it gets annoying, right? But again, you just have to catch it when it happens. So we looked at the congruency of the joint. Finding her tibia did not want to turn in. I don't think the word finding is in there. Sure enough, it's not in there. I'm getting frustrated. You are disregarding the instructions. The word is not in the original text. You are using the third person. All right, so line surgery after successful Fancy way how things are saying here. TB did not want to turn in, causing soft tissue pain. Let's see if we find this. Or causing, for that matter. Causing is there. And there you go. Causing soft tissue pain on the joint line. Okay. Mobilizing the joint. Could be close to this. If not, I'll find it here. Mobilizing, right? It's doing what I've asked it to do, which is to put shorter videos that make sense. So I know I'm gonna cut and back and forth and back and forth, but at least now I have some guidance on how to do this. Now, if I didn't have Poppy, I'd be here the whole week. 20 minutes for every, I don't know. The rule's always been this. For every 1 minute of produced video, you spend at least 1 hour making it, right? That's a whole week that you're saving by just doing this. So if you're happy, you might need to tweak it a little bit more, confront it a little bit more. Like if you find some errors, or if you want it a different, more specific, less piecing together and more original sentences, you tell it, right? And at the end, I'll say, that was good. Based on this, how many more videos can we get? Cool. Let's put together 6 25 to 45 second videos off of that 20-minute source, and I think that's okay. I'm sure you can mix and match. It's whatever you're trying to get out of it, right? Sometimes out of 20 minutes I get 15, 17 videos, sometimes I get 6, and that's okay. That's because my subject, who's my client, sometimes he goes on a rabbit hole of explanations, but sometimes he's on point. So it just depends what you can get. But this is one use case for Poppy that I use a lot of the time. It saves me a ton of frustration trying to piece together something that I don't even know what it is at the very beginning. Hope this helped. If you have any questions, I can be found on Discord or on WhatsApp. And stay tuned for the next one.